Well, I'm back out here this morning. Now I'm going to attempt to fashion a rod out of a paperclip. I think I need the bigger size paperclip to do it properly, but it's for the choke function. It's only to close a little butterfly, so I don't think it's that critical. And then I'm going to investigate the clutch drive. Obviously there's a spring, I've looked it up, there's a 180 millimeter spring that's supposed to go in here. So first of all I'm going to check and see if this can actually engage. So I'm going to put something on there to pull it, see if the drive engages. But first of all, I'm going to see if I can get this airbox off and fashion a connecting rod for the choke lever function. So if you watched part one of this saga, yesterday I removed the airbox, so you've got your 10mm nut here, 10mm nut there, and 10mm bolt here. And then there's also this pipe that's connected to the airbox. So I'm going to remove that. Well, I'm back out here today. It's Thursday. I removed the choke cable, took that off. I tried to kind of clean it up, but it's a bit of a fail, so I've ordered one of these on AliExpress for, I think it's £2.50 including the tax. So at the moment I'm needing to cut the grass, so I'm going to take the airbox cover off, refit this this cable here and get it started so that I can at least shut it off, you know, when I have to turn the machine off. So, and then the other thing I'm going to check is I'm going to see if this handle will pull this cable. So it's a spring for that, and I've actually noticed that on eBay you can get 2 springs for under £6, so £3 for a spring. Not that I'm needing 2 springs, but that's the option. But I'm going to see what I can do with this to see if it does actually activate the clutch. So first thing, airbox off, 10mm sockets, and I think I might need, can't remember if I need a Phillips or not, but anyway I'll get this choke cable connected up again and see if it starts. Well, here's my jerry-rigged rod, and so that's the butterfly pretty much closed, and that's it opened. So the paperclip is working, and hopefully it's closing that, but I can push that to take away the ignition to ground the coil. So in theory this should work. So one step forward, but as I say, I have actually ordered one of these, not the exact one, but I've ordered the correct diameter of governor rod, which is same as this one at the back. So I've ordered some of these, and then I'll just fit it and bend it with a pair of needle nose pliers, and hopefully that'll work fine. But we'll soon find if the paperclip works. I think I could do this with a thicker paperclip, but anyway, we'll see if it starts. That actually started first pull, so that's fine. See if I can shut, that should be in the shut off position now. Right, so that's not shutting off. So anyway, That's the choke on, fully on, partly on. That should be off. So what I'm going to have to do when I come to shut it off, I'm just going to have to undo that nut, let it go further in. Okay, so I put a flathead screwdriver into this, and let's see if we've got any kind of drive. Wheels are turning, that is driving. So now I know the drive definitely works. I don't know if it goes in reverse, no sign of reverse. So independent test. Got one hand on the handle here, got to pull it, and it's driving, yep. So that's good news. So now I can order the spring, pull that, and then should really be a Phillips. Still too long. Almost there. Right, so that's that locked. Right, so that's me in the off position. I haven't adjusted any of this yet. I've just got that in temporarily because I'm going to replace that cable. So test now. I've got that tightened up, on position. Let's put the screwdriver down. Oh well, it's fallen off. Done there. I managed to take a screenshot holding this, so it's at the start position. So that's on the choke position. So we're getting there. So I'm going to see if I can cut the grass. New cable is on order. Say it's Thursday. It should come sometime next week. See if we can shut it off again. Right, that's that there. It's shut off. Okay, so plan of action, new cable come next week hopefully. I will order the spring for the drive. It actually looks so when you pull that, it doesn't look like 185 millimeters required, but I'll have a quick look. Right, so there's roughly 10 centimeters between that eyelet and this hole, and when I pull that up, that would end up being roughly 120. I don't know if you can see that, I can't see the light with the sun on it, but it's roughly 12 centimeters, so 120 millimeters. So I'm not sure that the 180 millimeter or 18 centimeter one would be the right one, because that means, well, that's where it would come to, where my finger is there. So 185 doesn't sound like the right spring to me. So what I'll maybe do is get some wire, tie a bit of wire around there onto here, just a short piece, so that when I pull it, it activates it. So that's what I'll do. I'll find some wire, bendy wire, and see how I go with that, because to me that's not going to work with a spring of 180mm. Well, I've cut the grass here. It's running fine. I did find a couple of times when you pull this lever to engage the blade or drop the blade down, whatever it is that it actually does. So a couple of times at the beginning it was kind of stopping, so I'll have to let that off and do it again. So what I'm thinking is there's probably something, I mean there is a bit of corrosion on there, but it's maybe a case of I need to take that off and make sure this is properly lubricated and moving up and down freely. Or it could be something underneath. I've not looked into it that far yet. What's the fuel consumption like? So I've done my garden here, I've done the side of the house, I've done the neighbour's bit, and I've done the lawn over the road. So there's still, I don't know, still a little bit of fuel left in there, and it wasn't filled to the brim before, so it doesn't seem to be using that much fuel compared to the mount field, maybe slightly less. So I shall basically end part 2, and if anybody's got any feedback as to what to check for that, and if anybody's got any feedback on this clutch. I mean, I've just done it pushing it. It's a fairly sturdy machine, but it pushes fine. It's a bit of a pain in the arse having to hold that down. I'm not sure if this has some sort of function where it locks in place normally or not. Managed to get myself scratched with the rose hips at the side of the house, so that's a bonus. So yeah, so what I'm going to do about this for the drive, that's the first question. I'm obviously going to replace this clutch cable. It's obviously it's operating. I need to adjust the governor rod, or whatever you call it, the control arm, the little metal rod that goes between the lever and the butterfly on the carb. So that needs to get fixed. So cable, butterfly rod, and what to do about this, because that dimension is nothing like the spring, which seems to be a 180 or a 175 or a 185 depending on which dimensions you look at online. But that's too short. I mean, I would say that's probably about might be, if you're lucky, it's 4 inches that. So 4 inches is about 100mm. So if you added 80mm to that, I mean, you're kind of way down there. So unless the position that this is in, maybe it should be just a tiny little eyelet sticking out there, and I'll need to investigate what's going on at this end. So maybe that's supposed to push back in further, or I can move that a little bit there, but that seems to be it. There's a bit of movement there, that's it. That's the extent of the movement, but I'll obviously have to check that. So if anyone's watching this that is familiar with the Honda HRB535, I'm all ears. But anyway, it's running fine, no complaints about that. Need to figure out the drive, obviously need to change that cable, and then figure out the spring for the clutch. I believe this is the clutch. So as far as I'm aware, that goes forward and back, but it looks like it only goes back because there's a stop there. So I'll need to have a look at the instructions again. But yeah, so far it's going the right general direction, but it won't be till next week till I receive the new cable anyway. which gives the audience plenty of time to come back with some positive feedback. So anyway, looks like it's going to rain here. It's a bit dark. So anyway, hope you're having a pleasant day, and feel free to like and subscribe if it suits you. Okay, bye for now.